wake up and press play when we listen to music, on music, on culture, on opinions, on noise. But here's the real question: what are we actually feeding our spirit? Music used to be medicine, culture used to be instruction, sound was intentional. Today, everything is fast, viral, and loud. But is it still meaningful? On all these things today, we are asking the question: is modern culture elevating us or is it exhausting us? Is music still healing or just hypnotizing? And when spirituality becomes a trend, what do we lose? Now, this isn't a lecture, it is a mirror. Let's talk about what we consume, what consumes us, and how we return to intention. My name is Oluwatoyin Jayomi, welcoming all of you to all these things where we're going to discuss roots, rhythm, and reality. And the question is, what are we really feeding our spirit? Welcome, Red Breeds, onto the show. And if you'd like to call in, if you'd like to send messages, we are live and direct. And I'm going to open the show today with the music of Timmy Oyedele. Then we'll get down to business.
I've been crying for a long time now. I just want this tears to stop. Doctors try, but no solution. I'm going from bad to worse. I've been running for a long time now. 12 years have passed like this. Just been moving hell to skelter. All my money I've spent on this. Can't believe he's right beside me. On the way to Jara's house. He's healed so very many like me. I think I'm gonna take my chance. Should I stop him? Should I tell him? But there's so many all around him. But I believe him, so I'll just touch him. And maybe, and maybe, and maybe I'll be free.
That was the music of Timmy Oyedele from the album entitled Timmy Lulua. And the song you just listened to is called Maybe. I'm sure when you listen to the song, you'll be able to, take one or two messages from what she's saying. And it seems like that's the primary reason, we do songs, we make music, we want to communicate. Every one of us wants to be heard. Every one of us, at least most of us, I'd say, have something they want to say and they want people to listen to them, which is the reason people have fans. You play your music, and if you're consistent at it, people resonate, or your songs, your music, and the message they carry resonate with a lot of people. And they decide to join you. Hi, Ava, on TikTok. I see you. Now, when you put out the songs, when the songs resonate with people, you begin to gather people who follow you. They become your fans in the old cultural language of the music environment. Today we call them either fans, we call them followers, But what it means when these people buy your music, when they follow you, what they're communicating back to you is that they connect with the message you're passing. They connect with your sound, they connect with your lyrics, they connect with your style of singing, they connect with your message, they connect with every color that each of the songs that you put out there represents. And that's how people build a fan base, a follower base, traditionally. And it still remains same, except that these days we could say, okay, apart from the fact that they're my fans, they're my followers and all that. But today, the big question is, are we playing music? Are we creating music for manipulation? Or is music still some form of medicine that heals, that helps people through their journey? I have been in some situations where, the music that I listened to, kind of held my hand through those dark moments into the time when, sunlight came. And I believe with most of you, it must have happened that way. You say, oh, at the time when I was going through this, I listened to this album, I listened to this song, and it helped me to pull through. And you ask some people, how long did it take? Some could be like, it took me 2 years to get out of the dark, you know, side of experience. But during that period, each time I was in a state, I listened to so person, I followed so person, and every time I listened to this song or that song, I had some level of healing or relief in my spirit. And that's how music in that context is, some kind of medicine. It helps, it supports, it gives hope, it communicates something to you, it at least makes you dance, excites you, it does a lot of things. So it could be medicinal. But today, because the world is fast paced and the modern culture is prioritizing entertainment, you know, rather than self awareness or, you know, awakening of your consciousness or changing something in you that makes you see life differently, that makes you cope with stuff. The modern entertainment, is shifting, or I think is shifting things from where music is something you could connect with, that could support you, that could heal you, into just where you just dance away, and by the time the whole thing is over, you're back into a state you were in before you listen to the song. So the other question is modern entertainment, modern culture entertainment, is it taking us away from self-awareness, or is it just entertaining us, or is that still valid? And like I said, this is not judgment, this is curiosity. I'm just wondering what music does to us these days. Remember, what we're talking about is roots, rhythm, and reality. And the question is, what are we really feeding our soul? I remember way back, when I was still fresh in the music industry, when you take your songs to a record company, they will put you with an A&R, artist and repertoire manager, who listens to you, who checks all the songs you have, and looks at the direction you seem to be facing at the moment, if that's a good direction for you, or if they want to carve another direction for you that suits your brand and the notes that you sound in terms of your voice. And then they could pitch you, with a producer who understands the sound you're trying to create, the message you're trying to create, and could help you build sound or music around what you're doing. Now with that, they put in mind the audience they're targeting for you, based on the kind of songs you're singing, your lyrical direction, and everything that you represent as a person. So for the most part, way back, it was more about, what is your message? I mean, your message could come in the form of your lyrics as you sing them, or just the instrument that you play. How do people connect, or how would they connect with what you're putting out there? So it helps them to carve a path for you. And it was at that time, it was more about the message you want to pass. That was, in the traditional sense, it was more about the message you're passing, and then they can channel you, they can, help you to focus on a certain market that is ready to embrace what you want to put out there. And that's the beginning of the success of, many people. You have to have something you're saying. What is your message? What is your style? And what are you, trying to uh, impact on people? But it seems like these things are changing, or have they changed, or have they not? I would like for you to drop your comments based on your own uh, experience of the environment, the past, the present, and then it helps us to have an idea of what the future might spell for many of us. So, what are we really consuming these days? Are we consuming entertainment? Are we consuming noise? Or are we consuming self awareness, healing? But, what is music to one person? Good music to one person is, it could be bad music to another person. So it is as subjective as it is also relative. It's a matter of preference or matter of comparison, to be able to say this is good music to me and that is not good music, which is why, we have people who will love a particular artist and other people would detest that artist, and that's where it becomes a relative thing. So, is there any music or any song that you've listened to or that you still listen to that gives you an idea of what good music is? You can put in the comments section and let us know what music really makes any difference, in your life and what you consider as good music. Let's take another break and play the music from an artist in Atlanta. She's a fantastic artist, a voice or spoken word artist, soul, jazz, gospel musician. Her name is Tosinger, and this song is called Moshorire. Let's have a feel of it, and I'll be back with you. Salvation T on TikTok. We're coming back to your comment. It says music gives feelings a voice when words fail. That is very profound.
Ẹlẹ́dàá mi mo dúpẹ́ o, bá mi mo ṣoríire o. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi mo dúpẹ́ o, bá mi bí mo jí lówùúrọ̀ kùtùkùtù máa dorí mi mú o, bá mi tí n bá sùn lálẹ́. Chiki chiki, chiki chiki, máa dórí mi mú bá mi. Bí mo jí lówùúrọ̀ kùtùkùtù, máa dórí mi mú bá mi. Tí n bá sùn lálẹ́ ó chiki chiki, chiki chiki, máa dórí mi mú bá mi.
And Salvation T on TikTok says music shapes mood and focus. What are your thoughts concerning this belief or this position by Salvation T? Chase Silvers, is nice to have you on the show. And Timmy's preference of music as good music is gospel music, she says.
On this journey of life, storms and trials may come. Like a tree, we must stand strong. You'll be fine on solid ground. Europe for a day, Lao for a day, everybody day, Africa day, Europe for a day, Lao for a day, everybody day, Africa day, Lagos day, Accra day, Abidjan day, Dakar day.
And that's a fresh song by Tosinga, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. It says Moshorire. And I'm sure when you listen to songs like this, there is something the artist is trying to pass forward. There's a message they are trying to pass forward when they sing their song, when they write the lyrics. In other words, they are very intentional. They sit down, as it seems, to write something to say, this is what I want to communicate. This is what I feel. Just like Salvation T says, she says, music shapes mood and focus. So if music shapes mood and focus, it means the person who must have created a piece of music was intentional about what the person wants to achieve with the song, wants to help people change their mood, help them shift their focus. I mean, you listen to a lot of gospel music, and by the time you're done with that song, your perspective on a particular issue has already changed. And sometimes you listen to a piece of music, and by the time you're done, it's shifts your music from a dark place to a brighter side of experience. And that's why I would agree with Salvation T that music shapes mood and focus. She also says it's because it talks directly to the brain and body at the same time. That is Salvation T engaging us on TikTok. And, the thing to ask ourselves is, from drums to algorithms, how has, you know, sound, how has it, controlled our mood and our movement? Because it seems that way back, we sing to connect with people. Primarily, you want to connect with them. You want to gather a group of people, as as the members of your tribe, to walk your spiritual experience with you. And if what you're doing resonates with them, then you become like a family. And then they patronize you, and they come to watch your shows and everything. So it was more about building authentic relationships way back, based on what you sing and the people you gather along the line. But then we're in the age of algorithms, where we now seem to write songs to favor the algorithms, to position us, where, we can be more exposed to people who are either authentically following us or following us because the algorithm makes it that way. So, do you think that these days people write songs because they want to create the sounds, because they want to express themselves, because they want to connect with people, or because they want the social media algorithms to favor them? Because it seems like that's why, that's the intention of many people now. And which is why you could have like 500,000 followers, but they don't really care so much about you. But because a fraction of those people are following you because the algorithm has positioned your music before them, it might just not be what they want. So are we creating music for expression, to connect with people, or because we want the algorithms to favor us? Because by the time we get to that, terrain, by the time we start having that reason to create our songs, we may be heading towards a different intention of creating music. Salvation T, Timmy Salvation says, uh, music shapes mood and focus because it talks directly to the brain and body at the same time, especially the parts that handle emotion, attention, and rhythm. Hmm. She says it also triggers memory, sometimes vividly, instantly. Music also help organize thoughts and emotion. Now that's a very, very brilliant and engaging and authentic, well thought out contribution to the show. Now, Temi, you're making me think, you know, back to when, you know, we used to listen to some artists. I want to listen to a particular artist now because I want to be in a certain mood. I want to listen to another artist because I just want to dance. I want to be in high spirits. Or I want to listen to a song because I need to be inspired. You know. So those people are achieving the reasons they have written the songs they've written, the reason they've crafted the songs they've crafted. That is why we respond to those songs the way we do. And it's interesting, like you said, Timmy. There's some times when I listen to some songs, and all they do is just take me to a time in the past, that affect my emotion in a very sweet way. And I just want to dwell there in the past for that time. I don't know if how this works for you. I don't know if it works for you this way. You listen to a piece of song, and it takes you back to a time in the past where you reflect on on different scenarios. Maybe the time where you were flying kites during the holidays. You were flying kites with people from your street or people from the next street, or where or you could listen to a song, which happens to be the song you were listening to the most when you fell in love with your first love, where you got emotionally involved with someone for the first time. You could listen to some songs that remind you of a time when you just left high school, and there was the way you were relating with your friends, the way you were thinking, the things you were doing, the plans you had. So, like Salvation T says, it triggers memory, sometimes vividly, instantly. And that's very, very true. Uh, Lasso, we were talking about music and culture. What are we listening to? Why are we listening to the music we're listening to? What are we feeding into our souls? Are we listening to songs because they inspire us, they heal us? Or are we creating songs on the part of the creators now to communicate with people, to connect with people, to lead people, to guide people? Or just so that the numbers, the algorithms can favor us? And you're very correct. I'd agree with you that music also helps to organize thoughts and emotion. When you're listening to a piece of music, there are times when, while you're listening to the song, your mind gets so calm and you have clarity on a lot of things you are working on the things you want to do. You probably, before you listening to the song, your mind is just all over the place, but then you listen to the song and you realize that this song has shifted my mood. It's helped me, to actually organize my thoughts. But for me, most times, music brings me a lot of memories, especially songs that I've listened to in the past, in the past. And it just takes me on a journey. And that's the very, very interesting thing about the mind. Like, you have to be careful what you feed into your mind. Some people commit crimes, and when they commit the crimes, it's because they listen to a song that has triggered a tendency in them to react in a certain way. And like Salvation T says here, she says it also reduces stress hormones and increases dopamine. In that context, it actually depends on what kind of song you are listening to or that you've listened to. Monet, it's nice to have you on the show. Thanks for jumping in. Lasso as well on TikTok. Charlotte Athea Athelos, thanks for joining us on TikTok. Uh, we are discussing music. We're discussing music. What does it do to us? Roots, rhythm, and reality. What are we really feeding our spirit? And that's my curiosity on the show today. You know, people, and it's interesting. And this observation that I want to talk about now is quite interesting. I don't know how you find it. We have these days some people, some artists who are singing very deep songs, well crafted song, in every sense, good sound, good lyrics, beautiful melody, fantastic, singing style and everything. And these people, can barely find enough people to follow them or to even attend their shows. They struggle. But on the flip side, we have other artists, this crop of artists whose songs just make you dance. They just make you dance. They make you, like they say, forget your sorrows. So these types of musicians and the songs they write side by side, the audience they gather, wouldn't you think is a reflection of the minds of people at a given point in time? Wouldn't you think that the way people follow an artist or a particular music direction is a reflection of the mind of such people? Because if something does not resonate with you, you will not have any reason to gravitate towards it. Dewey Black, it's nice to have you Instagram, and the voices everywhere. It's also nice to have you. Dorcas Oluwasho Gutola, thanks for joining us on Instagram. It's nice to have you. We're talking about music. We're talking about roots, rhythm, and reality. What are we really feeding our spirit? Uh, Salvation T, you are really, really engaging me today on the show, and it's so beautiful. Uh, music. What kind of music do you listen to? How does it affect you? How does it impact you? What does it do to you? You know, I would like you to drop your comments. And what's your idea of good music? What's your idea of a good artist? What makes you gravitate towards the songs you're gravitated towards, or the artist that you're excited about, that you follow, you know, uh, religiously? I'm going to take another music break, and this time it's the music of Nkon. Nkon is in San Francisco, in the United States, and the song is called Brother. It is a soul jazz song. Let's have a feel of it, and I'll be back with you. And it's nice to have you, Jordan Adebayo, on TikTok. Jojo Vizzy. It's always a pleasure. And we're talking about roots, rhythm, and reality. What are we really feeding into our spirit?
Some say, babe, your man is lucky. But I know I'm the one who's really lucky. The way you treat me, the way you hold me. You are the one that makes it all happen, brother. All you do, oh brother, makes you happy. And all you do, oh brother, makes you so sexy. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. You are the king of my world. You are the beauty in my world. Yeah, you are the one who makes me feel like a queen. You are the one who makes me feel I can win always. 'Cause all you do, oh brother, makes you appealing. Yeah. And all you do, oh baby, makes you so sexy. Brother, talk to me. Brother, talk to me. Brother, talk to me. Talk to me. The way you touch me, the way you teach me, the way you hold me, the way you love me. Talk to 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 me.
The music of Nkon, all the way from San Francisco in the United States. If you want your song to be played on this show on Reso Freak FM station, go to our website. There's a way for you to submit your song. We'll be more than glad to screen the song, and if it fits into our program of music philosophy, we'll be more than glad to play them. And not only do that, also to bring you onto the show to let you talk about your music. That was the music of Nkon, all the way from San Francisco in the United States. Today, once again, we're discussing root, rhythm, and reality. What are we really feeding our spirit? And some questions that come into mind when I reflect on this topic. Some of these questions are, music, is it medicine? Is it message? Or is it marketing? Because you find out that when you listen to a song, there's some songs you say, oh wow, this song is like a medicine to my soul. And there are times when you'll be like, wow, I love the song. I love the message in this song. It's really saying something to me. It's really speaking to a part of me that needs to hear this at this moment. I mean, we see this on Instagram, on social media. Somebody posts a song and somebody says, this is a song I need to hear today. I needed to hear today. So the question is today, is music medicine for the most part? Is it message or is it just marketing? Because they're three different things when you take your time to actually look at it. The other question is, when did sound stop being sacred? I remember way back, when I used to, gather around friends or gather friends to listen to rap music, which wasn't my, first love. I used to love listening to the music of KRS-One, The Consciousness. I love listening to the music of Nas. I love listening to Tupac. These were guys who sat down and wrote songs intentionally. Now, to me, some of the songs were like medicine because of the message they preach, because of the things they say. Some of them give a particular message per time. And some of them have long lasting messages that each time you listen to the songs, you feel that the message is as crisp, as fresh as ever. But then when we start looking at things from the perspective of gathering followers so that the algorithms can favor us, then are we writing songs to pass messages, to serve as medicine, or we're writing songs just so we can market them? What's your opinion on this? What are your observations? Drop in the comments anytime you come across this video. The other question I have is vibration versus noise. Do we still feel the difference between vibration, and noise? Are we able to discern anymore? Are we still discerning listeners? I don't really know. I really don't know. So I would like for you to drop your comments and let me know what you think. Are songs still vibrations, or, I don't know. Are they vibes or are they noise? And then there's this major question that keeps popping in my mind the more curious I am. Are today's artists spiritual messengers or digital hustlers? That's where I talked about, is music today medicine? Is it message or is it marketing? So there was a time when musicians were messengers. We talk about Bob Marley, talk about most of this reggae musician, talk about an artist that I love a lot, Seal and Tupac, Nas, Ron DMC, Heavy D. As much as some of these people were also entertainers, they had messages they were passing. LL Cool J. And then today there are, new generation musicians, most of whom are very, very brilliant. You watch them, sometimes you're inspired. And sometimes even while they're entertaining, they are passing very profound messages. But for the most part, are today's artists spiritual messengers or they are digital hustlers? I don't really know what you think. What's your opinion on this? Then culture as an identity. Is culture an identity or is culture just performance? Because when you talk about culture, it's what is like a stamp on you perpetually, or is it just performance, which is momentary? So I would like for you to share your thoughts, your opinions on this on the show whenever you come across this video. I want to thank BG on TikTok for joining us, Chanel Williams, Adu Garcia. It's nice to have you guys on TikTok, to have you on the show. Rhonda Stubbs, really glad to have you on the show today. I see your comments on, yeah, I see your comment on Facebook. Thanks for popping in today. We are talking about roots, rhythm, and reality. What are we really feeding our spirit? I'm going to take one more break and play another song by Tosinger again, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. And this one is called Ilera. Let's listen to it. There's so much message in the song.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, literal, yeah. Wellness is a river quiet and slow, a gentle path where blessings flow. Not only body firm and strong, but mind and spirit sing along. Ilera, mentally, physically, spiritually, literal, yeah. Stormy weather, nights you cry, down and under, feel defeated. Your body's so tired, your spirit's so weary. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I'll be there for you. Just call on me. Ilera, mentally, physically, spiritually, literal, Ilera no all the while we're so Ilera, mentally, physically, spiritually, literal,
The music of Tosinger. This one is called Ilera. Ilera means well-being, and it's a language from the western part of Nigeria, which is called Yoruba, and it says, "Get well, be up and doing, be able, be agile. That health is wealth." And I want to thank once again Salvation Tea for joining us on the show today and for engaging with what we have to say. I have one more song on the show today before I say goodbye, which is just in a few minutes time. But I want to say that if you're joining us on the show, drop one song that genuinely centers you and let other people discover the song that is unique to you. The other question is, has music ever shifted your mindset instantly? When and how? Tell your story. Drop that story in the comments. And if possible, share the link to the song. Now, what's louder in your life right now? Is it peace or pressure? Now, either of the two that you may be experiencing, how do you handle them in your relationship with, or through your relationship with music? How does music help you through this experience? And then here's this question: do you listen with intention or just out of habit? Because sometimes we don't even know we're listening either with intention because we're present. or we just listen out of habit because you're reading, you're eating, you're whatever you're doing, whether it's high or low, you are listening to music. Have you taken the time to ask yourself if you're listening with intention or just out of habit? And as I was saying, spirituality online, is it awakening or aesthetic? Because almost everyone on social media is like a philosopher, exactly like a spiritual sojourner, or like someone who has motivational stuff to say. Like I always say, every deep thing you talk about will be tested. So when you preach strength, you better be sure that when life tests you on the platform of strength, you're exhibiting it. When you preach about patience, you better be aware that at different times, life is going to test that patience in you to reflect, to mirror to you whether you are just preaching those things or you have those virtues as well. Because they're two different things. You could preach and may not be able to practice. What repetitive sounds are shaping our mood daily, in your opinion? And then let's ask ourselves, is silence becoming the rarest luxury in a world where we're always listening, we're always listening, we're always consuming, we would love music, we want to listen to this, to that, we want to catch up. And there's that FOMO, fear of missing out. We want to engage at all times, deliberately or otherwise. So is silence these days becoming the rarest luxury? Remember, just as you can feel your heart, your mind, your spirit with noise, also you can feel those spaces with silence. And what does silence do for you as against the noise? Share your thoughts with us on the show if you're coming across this video. And how intentional is your playlist? What does your playlist say about you? If you go to listen to the songs you collect, if you look at your playlist, what do they say about you? That could help you to know whether you're listening intentionally or out of habit, where you're listening for message, for medicine, or you're listening for the noise. So, and how can we reclaim our culture without rejecting modernity? Because these two also go hand in hand. The past, the present, the future, they are all intertwined. We emerge from the past into the present, and we will also unfold into the future. So, how can we reclaim culture, without rejecting modernity? That's really important. So, whatever thoughts you have, share with us on the show, and let us know what your thoughts are. Remember, what we're talking about is culture. We're talking about root, sound, and all that stuff. What are we intentionally feeding into our minds, into our spirit? My final questions on the show today are for you to, drop your thoughts. What do you think? How does music today affect you? Does it elevate you? Does it drain you? Or it depends on the artist? Or you've never even thought about it? Now, do you think culture today is more distracting than grounding? Oh, and what's your idea of culture, in the first place? So, does it distract you or does it ground you? Is it a yes for you? Is it a mix of both, or you're not really sure? And then, what does spirituality online? What does it feel to you? And the last question I have is, how do you use sounds, rhythm, and culture to shape your life for the best outcomes? My name is Oluwatoyin Ojeyomi. It's been a huge pleasure sharing this space with you today on all these things, where we talk about all things and everything, as long as they have positive impacts on our minds, individually and collectively. This last song I'm going to play is called Adaniloro. That is the one who does you harm, the one who treats you terribly, the one who gives you the most bitter, the most terrible experiences. It's also a song in Yoruba language from the western part of Nigeria. It's from a man called Dilash, Dele Olaoshibikon. He says, Adaniloro Fagbara Koni, the person who treats you terribly teaches you strength, teaches you wisdom. And here is the song. Fagbara Koni, Adaniloro. Tolúwa ni ó ṣe. Ìgbà ṣòro là ń mọ̀ rẹ̀. Àdánwò là ń mẹni tó fẹ́ dénú. Ìgbà ìṣòro là ń mọ̀ rẹ̀ òdodo. Ìgbà àdánwò là ń mẹni tó fẹ́ dénú. Ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi rí ni. Ìṣàrọ̀ ìtàn rárá. Kì í ṣètàn ẹṣinú ìwé. True life experience mi ni Adaniloro. Fagbara Koni. Adaniloro. Gbé Ọlọ́run. Adaniloro. Olúwa ni ó ṣe. Ìṣòro là ń mọ̀ rẹ̀ òdodo. Àdánwò là ń mẹni tó fẹ́ dénú. Ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi rí ni mo sá dórin. Iṣẹ́ àròsọ rárá. Èyí kì í ṣètò ẹṣinú ìwé. True life experience. Ayé pàǹtí tó ń dán fún ẹ. Wọ́n rọra ṣe. Kẹ́bi má ló pọ̀ nínú. Ènìyàn ṣọ́rọ́. Ènìyàn ṣọ́rọ́. Adaniloro ṣojú rọ̀kọ̀ṣọ́. Rọra ṣe ènìyàn ṣọ́rọ́. Adaniloro fẹ́ni fẹ́re. Ènìyàn ṣọ́rọ́. Adaniloro gbàgbé àti sùnwọ̀n. Adaniloro. It's been a very, very interesting session on the show today. And with this song by D-Lash, Dele Olao Shebiko, entitled Adaniloro, I will say goodbye on the show today, where we discussed the root, rhythm, and reality that we really feeding our spirits. And I hope in the course of this conversation or this session, you have taken the time to ask yourself, what am I really feeding into myself in terms of what I listen to? Beyond music, it could be spoken word, it could be motivational messages. What are you really feeding into yourself? Have you taken the time to consider how the things you feed into yourself affect your mind, your fear, your worry, your anxiety, or your enthusiasm even towards life? You can think about this and drop your comments. My name is Oluwatoyin Ajayomi, the one who knows Papa T, saying goodbye on all these things in the Red Africa Fair. Don't forget, you can send your songs through the submission portal on the website, or send us a DM if you want to be a part of our community. Don't also forget to join us so you can join the family of Rare Breeds on Red Africa Fair. So it's peace, love, and blessings. And I'll be with you pretty soon again next Saturday. Bye. And God bless. Adaniloro.